We Were Athletes Once podcast. I'm Cody, and it's hockey night. That means I'm here with Julian. And we have put it on pause for an extra week because we were expecting some fireworks here during this off season, and we got some. It could have been even more explosive than it was if a couple of things had gone slightly differently. But it was a very exciting 2 weeks for us here at this off season, and it wasn't because of the free agency. It was everything else that happened. So we're going to dive into a couple of things that have happened recently. We're going to talk about the free agent signings, and then we're going to talk about the trades because that's where some of the fireworks really happen. So a couple of big things that have just happened is we have talked about the Dylan Larkin trade request for a little while now. It's been a terrible look. Detroit kid, went to Boston, captain of the Red Wings, has 5 years left on his deal. Great deal. And requests the trade out of Detroit. Terrible look. He's only given 3 teams that he's willing to go to. He just opened it up to a 4th and added Dallas to his list. And GM Steve Yzerman has basically said, yeah, that's not happening unless we get a good return, which is absolutely fair, and I would say the same thing. But because of how this whole Yzer plan has gone down in Detroit the last several years, it clearly hasn't been working. Stevie Y has stepped down as the GM of the Detroit Red Wings, and they are currently searching for a new GM. He is still in the organization. He is the senior advisor to the Ilitch family, who owns the Red Wings. But this, to me, I don't know about you, this felt more like, hey, you're getting fired, but we don't want to fire you.
Yeah, 100%. They've already been kind of the circus of the media for the past few years, the Yzer plan and all these signings that he's been doing and all the nonsense that comes with it. Now Larkin wants out. They don't need more of that. So I think instead of firing him, they just kind of push him to the side.
Yeah, and it's still the off season, so there's still time. But if you go searching for a new GM right now, by the time you get one and you figure out your plan, like, where does this leave Detroit? Like, where does Larkin go from here? Because like I said, I'm not trading Larkin either unless it is a premium young center coming back the other way, at least.
Agreed. And with them wanting out, I don't know if the price is that high. So,
I mean, it should be, though, because you're talking about a 1A, 1B type center. He's a top 15 center in the league.
Yeah.
And he's assigned to like a $9.1 million deal. And we see what a center's going for right now that we'll talk about here in a minute. But that's a great deal.
100%.
So I think teams probably would try to lowball, but we talked about his 3 teams in the past. And now he just added Dallas as a 4th team.
Yeah.
So when you look at these teams, like, what's Vegas giving up? Like, they don't have a young premier center to give up.
They don't have any.
You look at Florida, and Florida said, we're not trading Anton Lundell. So they don't have one.
No.
And they don't have the 9th overall pick anymore like they did in the draft. So you could have possibly got it done before then.
Yeah.
Who was his 3rd team?
Not Winnipeg, Wild.
Oh, that's right, Minnesota. He wants to go play with Quinn. And they seem to want Boldy coming back the other way, and Minnesota's not doing that. Because Boldy's just as good, now be it he's more of a winger than a center, in my opinion. But
100%. But he's also way younger.
But he's way younger, and he's going to be under control longer.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening. People think that he's going to Minnesota somehow. I just don't see how they make it work and still have to give Quinn an extension after this year.
It won't work.
And I've heard rumors that it's about 3-year bridge deal for about $18 million is what they're talking about with Quinn. And with the contracts they have, you just can't do that.
No.
And add Larkin.
No, not a chance.
So I don't see that. And then Dallas was the interesting one when he added that because it seems like all of his teams, he wanted to go play with a Team USA teammate
Yep.
and win. Dallas doesn't have that. They've
No.
got a very good team, though. And it sounds like the piece that Detroit went back is Wyatt Johnston, and they don't seem to want to part with, again, a young stud center. Like, Dallas could possibly make it work. I know they would love to be like, hey, Jason Robertson, maybe a plus for him. But that doesn't really help Detroit's center problem. So I don't know. But Dallas does have a few young centers. If they want to move Johnston, if they want to move Rope Hintz, Seguin does nothing for Detroit at this point. So I don't know that it's possible unless Detroit takes an underpayment or a wing or a defenseman as the centerpiece.
Don't think he's moving unless he makes a bigger team trade list.
Or he makes a bigger team list. And I've heard this argued a lot lately because of how players have demanded out this offseason. And I really like this idea, is a team has given you a no trade clause or a no move clause so that they have protection so that you don't move them. But if you request a trade, it should be waived. You shouldn't be able to hold team hostages. And I love this idea because you signed a contract and now you're saying, I want out, but only to these certain teams.
Yeah. So
I think if you're saying I want out, you have to waive that clause. Period. End of discussion. Not I'll waive this clause if you find me the right deal.
Yeah, I agree. I think that should be something that the NHL actually looks at and like implements. That would be perfect because a Kachuk to Florida probably wouldn't happen. So this Larkin trade would not happen if he could get traded anywhere. It would be no, I'm staying. So he would end up on like the Kraken. So
for sure. Utah. I'm going Utah. They've got. You could give them a Desnoyers, and
easily,
they've got tons of prospects. You could give them a Shimashev and a Desnoyers, a Fur. They've got so much. They could acquire anyone if they were willing to go there.
100%.
Which is where we were with the Robert Thomas discussion last year.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think on the next CBA, that is something that is seriously going to be discussed because I think GMs and owners are a little ticked off and tired of this situation.
Yeah.
But good on the players. They're taking it in their own hands right now. And this is stuff that we see in other sports. We see it in the NBA where they're like, nah, this is what we're doing. And it's kind of been drama, which has been really good for the NHL because you're getting a lot of eyes on it.
Yeah.
So I think they love that this offseason has kind of been as explosive as it's been. Because I don't know about you, I'm checking Puckpedia every day. I'm checking Twitter constantly still to be like, hey, there's still some good players out there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's still some guys that are RFAs that they're looking about trading. There's some big name dudes. Is Connor Hellebuck going to get traded? Yeah. I think he is. It's a question of for what and to where.
Yep.
But there's still a lot of big pieces looking to be moved, and it's still an interesting offseason to me.
100%.
So Detroit in shambles. They've got a lot of good young pieces, but I think this is where you tear it down and you just let the young guys play. You've got a lot of good prospects that I really like. Let them play. Get as much as you can for Larkin. You have to get a center of some sort. Maybe it's not the biggest piece in the deal, but you do get a young, maybe more of a second line projecting center.
Yeah.
And just let the kids play. But it'll be interesting because Larkin's going to get booed the second the season starts, and he's got 5 years because he ain't sitting out. All right, let's talk about the big fireworks. It started off small. We saw Barrett Hayden get offer sheeted by New Jersey.
Yep.
And it was a 1 year, $4.75 million, and there's going to be a second round pick going back. And Utah ended up matching it. And this, for most people right away, they're like, well, this is an easy match. Why would they even do something like this? Um, but when a player's been offer sheeted and you sign it, you cannot move that player for 1 calendar year.
Yep.
So this takes Barrett Hayden from his last year of RFA into unrestricted free agency. So they can't move him.
No.
Like if they're having a rough season deadline, they cannot move Barrett Hayden. He is stuck there. And this puts him as a UFA next offseason no matter what.
Yeah.
So on the outside, this didn't look like that big of a deal. But once you got into what they were doing, I thought it was a pretty interesting move.
No, 100%. And if they don't end up re-signing him long term, he will get a contract very quickly. He's a very nice player.
Yeah, he's like the perfect third line two-way center.
Yeah.
He's going to win draws. He's going to play PK. You can put him in front of the net if you need to. He wins faceoffs. Like him a lot. He never kind of offensively panned out to where he was drafted, but he's a solid player. And to me, this was almost I almost thought Utah was just going to take the second, because to me, this felt like I'm going to New Jersey either this year or in the offseason.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were going to take the second. But now he may walk for nothing, or maybe they know something that New Jersey doesn't, and they've got an inside track to signing him. But we'll see. And then the big offer sheet came, and this shocked the NHL world because we now have a new highest paid player in the NHL, and it is Leo Carlson. RFA for the Anaheim Ducks. Philly offer sheets him 5 years, $18 million. And the biggest part of this was the money that he was going to get up front, because they put a ton in signing bonuses, and it's not something Anaheim does.
No.
And I want to say it was like $32 or $38 million in the first year.
He's making money.
So he's getting paid.
Yeah.
What did you think of this offer sheet when it came across your phone?
I thought someone was going to do it, but not at that price. It was a bit ridiculous when I thought maybe a typo or something. I thought he was going to get somewhere around 11 to maybe 13. And seeing 18 from the Flyers, it's kind of a get back for Gauthier leaving. So I thought it was hilarious. The Ducks have just imploded this offseason. They went from and maybe an up-and-coming team to what's going on. They still have players, they still have pieces, but Leo Carlson's taking up like 20% of your cap now. And I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he still has a lot more to prove to be worth that type of money.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get 13.
Yeah.
Maybe someone would push it to 15 to make it real uncomfortable. But man, you went 18 million. And it was interesting because Pat Verbeek had said all off season, if you offer sheet Gauthier, if you offer sheet Carlson, we're going to match it.
Yep.
And this one didn't match immediately. It took a couple of days to think about, because the compensation for that is 4 first-round picks.
Yep.
So you would be getting the next 4 years of first-round picks from Philly. And it did almost seem like payback.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. And my next thought was, okay, are they now going to try and offer sheet Gauthier almost immediately? But Cutter wanted out of there, so you can't do that.
No. I think the next still might.
I do too. But the next thing that they did was they signed one of their defensemen finally, who also could have been offer sheeted.
Yep.
And I think that was their concern, was we have very few defensemen right now. We have to get him signed, and we will match anything that Cutter gets offered. And we can trade one of these vets that are making like $5 or $6 million, because they've got a couple on 1-year deals.
Yeah.
They can match anything. But I've also heard rumors that Cutter's saying, I'm not taking less than Carlson gets now. So this is just interesting in Anaheim. This team's not better.
No.
Like, they've traded away defensemen. Their defensive core is worse. They lost the vets that they traded for. You've got Carlson at 18 million now, and you don't have Cutter signed, and you still need probably 2 defensemen.
I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, why they just let their entire team walk or be exposed to being able to leave. But good on Danny Briere for making him go out there and do
Bro,
something. It was
I
hilarious.
well, I heard that there were several GMs that commented on this in private, no, so anonymously, that said the way that Pat Verbeek deals with contracts and has dealt with this whole situation is a fireable offense. They're like, there's no way it should have ever gotten to this point. But
No,
he wanted to be the hard negotiator, which it's been told over the years, many players have left because of how Verbeek and his assistant have negotiated down everything.
yeah,
Um, so now you've got 5 years, which again, why 5 years? Because this takes Carlson to his UFA year.
yep,
And so you've got 21-year-old Leo Carlson on a 5 year, $18 million deal. He is going to hit free agency at the age of 26.
and be very expensive.
And if he keeps panning out the way he played this year, and he's a 26-year-old two-way scoring center, he's going to get the bag again. So
Yep,
good on him. Yeah, so they signed, who they say? Pavel Minchikov, again, 22, got a 5 year, $7.2 million deal. I don't like this contract because, again, it takes him to UFA the
yep,
same year that Leo Carlson's a UFA.
yep,
So I don't like how this has been handled. And then in 2 years, you've got Beckett Seneca coming up.
yeah.
So you still need to get Beckett Seneca signed. You need to get um, Cutter Gauthier signed. And you need a defense
You
because
need
you signed Jackson Lacombe last year for an 8 year extension for $9 million.
yeah,
Your top right pairing defenseman is either Nick Jensen or Drew Hellison right now.
yeah.
And
Their
then
defenses.
and then Tristan Lunau is your third pairing right handed
Yeah.
defenseman. I don't think he's ready yet.
No, their defense is tragic.
Like Lacombe, Minchikov, Jensen, Ian Moore, Drew Hellison, Tyson Hines, Tristan Lunau. Those are the only 7 defensemen that they have.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's not good. So I don't know what they're doing. It's not pretty.
No,
Like maybe Stian Solberg will be ready soon. But again,
no.
that's another left pairing defenseman.
Yeah,
You need someone on the right side desperately. Um, and their D prospects are not great. Like Jet Wu has already proven that he can't do it. But yeah, that's about it. It's not good.
no.
Um, I think they're in a world hurt. I think they've got $9 million in cap space, so someone could offer Gauthier a bunch of money, and they would have to move Chris Kreider and or Alex Killorn, and you're
Yeah,
gonna have to attach a first for someone to take them.
yep. Right now, they have to move somebody if they're going to sign Gauthier. They're
Yeah, because he's not signing for under $9 million.
not a chance.
I'm just
And
looking.
they're screwed, honestly. They have to move a lot to even pick up a defense.
If you hear a noise, it is my son screaming for no apparent reason. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just looking at a couple of rosters to see if they would be willing to take it for the contract. If there's a first attached, and as a Blues fan, I'm looking at us, and if you trade Pius Suter, you can absolutely make that work still for
Oh,
1 year.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a Chris Kreider on my third or fourth line,
That'd be
just
awesome.
to be a savage.
That'd be awesome.
So no fireworks ended up completely happening because both teams matched.
Yeah.
But we had a few RFAs signed, and I'm not going to get all of them. There were a lot, so let's just look at a few teams here for free agency. The Ducks that we just talked about, Nick Jensen was their biggest offseason signing on top of re-signing or extending Pavel Minchikov and Leo
Yeah.
Carlson. We've already talked about them. We're not going to stay there. We think this team is worse than it was before.
100%.
they need defense in a bad way. Boston, Connor Clifton, is their really one and only signing?
Yeah.
They also, though, made a trade, which we'll talk about those trades in a little bit. Not a lot going on in Boston.
No.
I just don't know how to feel about Boston. Like,
They're
they're
just
decent,
mediocre.
but they're not great.
No, they'll be a playoff team maybe, and they won't win around. They don't have scoring. There's Pasta, and that's it.
Yeah,
Unless he has another great year, there's no really other scorer on the team.
No. Okay, let's talk about Boston real quick, because Boston was an interesting team for me. They were the surprise team last year, made
Yeah.
their playoff run, and they didn't bring back Tuck. Who did they trade away? They traded away somebody. But they bring in, we'll just talk about their trade. They brought in Owen Zellweger from the Ducks, signed him to a 3-year, like $3.1 million bridge contract. Love that. Other than they have a ton of defensemen, and you just lost some forwards. They re-signed Peyton Krebs to a 4-year cheap extension. But other than that, like, I feel like this is a team that still needs to replace Alex Tuck. Now, they did give Zach Benson a massive contract, RFA contract, like 7.25 or something for many years. I like it a lot. But this still feels like a team that needs to put another offensive veteran piece here.
100%. They lost he didn't really have a great playoffs, Tuck, but he was awesome in the regular season. He was a big part of their scoring and their offense, and without him, you have the creative player in Benson, and then obviously Tage Thompson there. But you need depth scoring, or just another, I wouldn't say star, but elite player that can get out there and score those goals and make plays.
Yeah, and with Tuck, like, he's one of my favorites. He's so underrated in my opinion. He can score. He kind of plays that power forward type role. He's a leader. He's from Buffalo, so that one hurt. But looking at their roster, like, yeah, like, their top 2 lines will be fine. After that, though, it's a little rough. They're pretty young. You've got Doan, you've got Norris, so you've got some guys that'll go to the net. They keep seeming like they're trying to trade Jack Quinn, which I don't understand because that's your depth scoring right there. I just, you've got Dahlin, you've got Power, you've got Samuelson, you've got Zellweger, all left-handed defensemen.
Yeah, they've got good defensemen. It's just they're not a lot of, like you said, the left-hand D, and then the right side is pretty bad.
It's Connor Timmins and Louis Crevier, who they just traded for.
I do like Crevier. I do like Crevier.
So, and then the interesting thing is they are the biggest name in the Connor Hellebuck rumor mill.
Yeah.
So if Connor Hellebuck gets traded, one, they don't have enough money for him right now.
No.
But you have to assume either Alex Lyon or UPL is going back. And if UPL is going back, you've got enough money. But then what else are you giving up? Because Connor Hellebuck is going to be worth a buttload. Like, are you giving up Jack Quinn? Are you giving up Ryan McLeod? Like, are you giving up like a Noah Oslin? Like, that's my big question is because I assume Constantinius is going to be on this roster full time this year, which I think could be some of your depth scoring, and maybe that replaces the Jack Quinn spot.
I think Winnipeg would want a roster player. I don't think they want to admit like a retool or rebuild yet.
My interesting piece though is they already tried to move him once last year, redeem Mertka.
Yeah,
that feels like a Winnipeg type player.
Agreed.
Like if you do a Mertka and UPL and Jack Quinn, like that's a good package.
100%. That's a great package.
So I could see something like that. If it just seems like Winnipeg's in a weird spot where they're like, we need to rebuild. We know Hellebuck wants out. We've got to get a lot for him, but goalies just don't get the same
Much.
thing that everyone else does. But you're talking about a multiple-time Vezina winner,
And an MVP.
An MVP, a guy who's carried teams through the regular season. And if you put this defense with that kind of goaltending, you don't have to score quite as much.
No.
So they're very interesting to me. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I think Hellebuck eventually does get moved to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it's going to be for, but it'll be interesting. With Boston, we forgot to add one thing. I forgot they traded early on for JJ Peterka.
Yeah.
That was an interesting move for me. I do like that. I was very surprised because Utah just traded for him last year, and now they're trading him away. And they paid him, so I'm just confused by it.
I thought maybe maybe it's a move for Robertson. That's what I thought at the time. They were clearing up some cap space to go after Jason Robertson, but hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and Peterka's still got 4 years at 7-7. So,
yeah.
I mean, this team's not as bad as I thought. Looking at it, Pasta, Lindholm, Peterka, Mittelstadt, Geeky, Zaka.
I think Lindholm's criminally overrated.
He is. He's not the same person he used to be.
No.
And you can't move him for at least 3 more years. He's got a full no-move clause. They also traded for Will Borgen. Okay. That puts your top 5s looking pretty good. And you signed Clifton. So your defense looks solid. So yeah, it really is, again, same thing with Boston with Buffalo. It's the secondary scoring.
Yeah.
Calgary they traded for Simone Nemec, and they signed him to a big deal for 5 years. I hated this signing. They gave him 5 years, 7.25, which takes him to unrestricted free agency. I assume you're playing him on the top pair with Kevin Ball, so he can just be an offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
Or Zane Parek's doing that with Ball, and you brought in Jacob Middleton. So, like, your top 2 pairs are probably going to be Ball and Middleton with Nemec and Parek. And then you've got Zach Whitecloud, who I think is your best right-handed defenseman over those other 2, playing on the third pair.
There's no point to even talk about Calgary and what they're doing. Cause
it's a hot mess.
There's nothing going on there that's good.
Oh, and they were trying to trade Connor Zary for a second-round pick, and that didn't happen.
I'm surprised nobody did that.
Me too. It's interesting.
He doesn't demand. I think his contract's like $3 million, and he's a pretty solid depth player.
3,775.
Yeah.
So yeah, under $4 million for 2 years, and he's an RFA at the end of that. He's still got one more year of RFA, so you've got at least 3 years of control. I would have thought someone would have done it.
100%.
I mean, shoot, Chicago, you suck and have 1,000 prospects. Go get you someone who likes to shoot the puck.
Yeah. Have they done anything?
We'll get to them in a second because it's my favorite team to talk about. Carolina has done basically nothing, and that's fair.
Yeah, they don't really need to. The only thing they've really got going on is the Nikishin. Is he staying or is he going?
Yeah. They re-signed Alexei Hemosalmi, whatever.
Didn't they keep Carrier as well or some Carrier? Or was it who did they signed somebody at their parade?
Oh, yeah. They did. That was weird. Who was it? Yeah, it could have been William Carrier. He signed a 4-year deal with 3 of them no move, but the last 2 years.
Delorier.
Was it Delorier? Okay. Oh yeah, he signed a vet minimum basically for 2 years, which I think is smart with that division with what with what Florida's building, man, you
Yeah.
need some bite there, and
Yeah.
Nick Delorier gives you. He's willing to go toe to toe with anyone. Yeah,
No.
but it is the question of what are they going to do with Alexander Nikishin. They've still got almost $10 million in cap space. They're also a team that has been in on Hellebuck, but you've got Kotchev, or I can never say his name,
I don't know.
and Brandon Bussey. I assume you just roll back with those two.
Yeah.
And I mean, Bussey's got signed a 3-year deal during the season for $1.9 million. Roll with that guy.
Yeah.
He just won you a cup.
100%.
Yeah, nothing super exciting there. It really is. Are they going to trade Nikishin or not? They've got money to re-sign him. But the question is, where does he play? Because on the left side, you've got Jacob Slavin and Keandre Miller. So do you want to pay $7.5 million for a third pair defenseman?
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, ideally, if they could trade him for a right-handed defenseman, that would be really good for them, because their right side is Sean Walker. Well, and you've got Shane Gostisbehere on the left side for another year, so it's not great.
No.
Dogs.
They finally
Crazy.
won the cup.
They won it. They got over the hump. I love it. I was happy for Rod the Bod. I was happy for Stahl. But we'll see what. All right. Next, let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. We said Detroit was in shambles. I think Chicago is the worst run organization in hockey, and it does not give me a greater joy than ever to say that.
I'd agree with that. There might be one other. I have a hot take for after this.
Okay. Connor Bedard still needs an extension.
Yep. And
they re-signed Drew Comesso.
Yeah, sweet.
Who won't be in the NHL. They still have Ethan Del Mastro and Kevin Korchinski to re-sign as RFAs. They brought in one player, and they overpaid for him. Yep. You traded a 4th overall pick for him, which insane. And then you gave him $12.5 million a year. Insane.
I don't get it.
Bowen Byram. They've got him until 2033. So
the next down on the contract.
Their top right-handed their only right-handed defenseman.
He's a solid defenseman.
Is Artem Levshunov and Sam Renzel.
Yeah.
Everyone else is left-handed. Yeah.
They picked Levshunov too high, in my opinion.
Yes.
But if he can stay out of the penalty box, maybe he can be a threat somewhere. But I think Renzel had a good year. He just has to work on his defense. The scoring's there for their defenders. It's just the defense is a ghost town. Bowen Byram,
this is a team
player, just not at that price.
Yeah, this is a team that let the young kids play, but you need to get some big physical guys in this lineup because
they traded their big physical guy.
I know. It makes no sense. Tyler Bertuzzi is their only one. Because if you're looking, like, Frank Nazar, love him. One of my favorite prospects in that draft. Little guy. Fast little guy. Love him still. Teravainen, not a big guy, not going to play physical. Ryan Donato, old, meh. Like, Jordan Greenway. You traded for Jordan Greenway. There's your big physical guy, I guess. Andrew Mangiapane has always proven that he's not that great and not physical. Cole Smith, you either signed or traded for him. Cool.
They signed him.
Not great. Like, your center depth is going to be like 20-year-old Connor Bedard, 22-year-old Frank Nazar, 19-year-old Anton Frundell, 20-year-old Sasha Boisvert.
Okay, yeah.
And 21-year-old Oliver Moore, who, again, is teeny tiny and stupid fast. One of my favorite prospects in that draft, again. But you have no size down the middle. And you have no Like, this team's so bad. This
And
team
they're
is
gonna
so.
miss. They're gonna be without Bedsy until late November or early
Yeah,
December.
he's out
So,
4 months after a shoulder surgery.
so we'll see what goes on there. But
We
without
might be talking about them as the number one pick in the draft again next year.
they
And
they might.
then they will get their right-handed defenseman,
Who's their
Landon
goalie?
DuPont, Spencer Knight.
Oh, okay, okay. That
And
that's a
then
redeeming. That's a redeeming.
Soderblom's their back. I don't mind their goalie team.
No, they're cannon
Everything
fodder.
else.
The defense they need to they they needed a kind of. I feel like they need like a veteran in there.
Yeah, it's ugly. They need veteran presence. They
Yeah,
need some size in the forwards. It's not great.
no,
Colorado, I mean, I like what they've done. They don't need a lot. Um, but you trade Ivan and you get Fabian Lysell, who just never worked out in Boston.
yeah,
I feel like he's the perfect change of scenery player. You go out and get Christian Wolainen to be that seventh veteran defensive pair.
yep,
Um, my favorite move, man, they got Jaden Schwartz on a 3-year
yeah.
deal,
I would think,
fairly cheap. Man, there's your depth veteran scoring,
yeah,
especially when your captain and Eberle gets hurt all season long again. Like, if there's two players that are exactly the same, in my opinion, it's Gabriel Landeskog and Mark Stone. I'm
yeah.
going to be the captain, and I'm going to be hurt all season long, and I'm going to be a big old power forward that can't skate
Nope,
anymore.
nope.
Um, yeah, this team was already good. They didn't need to do a lot.
No,
I
I've
like
got.
what they did.
I forgot about my hot take after we talked about the Blackhawks
Oh,
being.
yeah, give me your hot take about Chicago.
It's not Chicago. It's I think Greer in the Sharks is not a good GM.
Oh, we'll get to the Sharks
Yeah,
because he did some dumb stuff, in my opinion.
I think his drafting he kind of lucked into those picks. I mean, the team sucked. First overall, who are we gonna pick? Oh, definitely not Celebrini. That's easy pick. And he did all right drafting us wise. I'll give him that. But
Yeah.
transitioning
Oh,
that team,
well, we'll get to them
yeah,
because I've got some takes with them as well. Um, Columbus, man,
I don't know what they
they're
got.
about to be in shambles.
Yeah, sell the team.
Uh, Fantilli needs a contract. Did Jet Greaves? I don't think Jet Greaves re-signed yet.
I
Cole
don't.
Sillinger needs a contract. They're RFAs, all three of
Marchenko
them.
wants out.
Marchenko wants out. Your Norris winning defenseman wants out.
Sell the franchise.
Maybe. I mean, the way they're going, they could be in trouble.
Yeah,
Um, but we'll see what ends up happening with Werenski, because if they can't re-sign him, it's over for them. Dallas, they are still at the mercy of Jason Robertson.
yep,
I think at this point, this is my hot take, you trade him for less to whoever
yep,
and just say, screw you and your I won't sign a contract extension wherever I go. We're not paying you what you want. So you can either take what we want or what we're offering, or I'm going to trade you and your RFA rights to whoever, and you can deal with it then. And we're not re-signing you in free agency.
yeah.
Because I've heard the locker room is pissed at him, and they don't necessarily want him back.
That's valid in my opinion. Like, if you want to win a cup, you're gonna have to take a pay cut. In my opinion, I don't think he's worth what he's asking for. He scores the goals for sure, but he hasn't proved it in the playoffs ever. He's been kind of a ghost in every playoff that he's been in.
You
If
know,
you want that money, you got to perform in the regular season, sure, but you also have to perform in the playoffs, and he has not proven that to the Dallas Stars or
no.
anybody.
Well, and we know of at least, 3 teams that he turned down
Yeah,
contract extensions from. Um, Now, they did trade Maverick Bork to Nashville,
yeah,
and I hate that because I would rather have kept and signed Maverick Bork and traded Robertson,
yeah.
because I think Robertson's going to be gone anyway. I don't think it was good asset management, but that's just me. They also re-signed Jamie Benn. We knew that was coming. He's going to be there on a vet minimum with incentives until he retires. But other than that, that's really it for Dallas. They didn't do a whole lot.
No.
Because again, they're just at the mercy of Robertson, and they will be until that's figured out. Detroit, we mentioned, but they've done some things. I will give them that. They've done some things. They brought in Victor Arvidsson. They brought in Daniil Tarasov to be the backup. Meh. There's also rumors and rumblings that somebody is going to offer sheet Simone Edvinsson, which I think somebody should.
Yeah, 100%.
They've got a lot of young defensemen, but he's their best one outside of Mo Seider. And the other rumor, which I thought, I guess it's not valid to Detroit other than they're losing him, is Patty Kane's leaving.
Yeah.
Which, why wouldn't you at this point? But yeah, this is a team that just needs to commit to the rebuild. And I know they've already done that, but it's time to let all of those guys you drafted that are about ready to just play and see what you got with them.
100%. They're a disaster.
They're a disaster. There's not a lot to say. Edmonton Oilers, Kapanen re-signs. I think one of the underrated players that they signed was the defenseman that they brought in, Ryan Shea from Pittsburgh. I think he's very underrated. I don't think a lot of people watched him out in Pittsburgh. But they bring in him. I think that'll help their defense.
They brought in Freddie Anderson as well.
They brought in Freddie Anderson on the 1-year deal. Can he play like he did up until the finals?
Can he stay healthy?
Because if he can and he can stay healthy, I think that'll be very good for them.
I know he can play like that. I think his issue the last 5 seasons has been health. He's missed so many games. I don't think he's played goalies don't really play a full season, but he hasn't played 40 games in a while.
No. Re-signed Colton Dock. Okay, fine. But then the big deal for them, outside of Freddie Anderson, is that they traded Darnell Nurse, and they got San Jose to take his full contract.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
They got back in the deal Shakir Mukhamadullin, who they also signed to a 2-year, $3.5 million contract. Fine. I think your defense is still worse after trading Nurse, but it gave you some financial flexibility.
Yeah.
Which allowed you to go get Shea. It let you go get Anderson. I love Matthew Joseph from his time with the Blues. He's a fast, big, physical player that can play any role, and I love that they brought him in. But again, this is a team that needed defense, and you traded away a defenseman to get a worse defenseman, in my opinion. Even with the financial flexibility, I'm like, so who are you going to go get now?
Their top 4 is Connor Murphy, Ryan Shea, Wallman, and Bouchard.
Bouchard. Yeah. We know how I feel about him.
I don't.
And they've only got $4.75 million left, so it's not like they can go trade for anybody significant.
Devo will be gone.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, and you don't have contracts that you can trade away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bouchard, Wallman, Murphy, Ekholm, Shea, Mukhamadullin. You also got Spencer Stastny in that deal. You've got Ty Emberson, whatever. Unless you can get someone to take Tristan Jarry's contract, because they also acquired Devin Levi.
Yeah.
Which was weird for me because they got Levi and you thought, okay, they're going to run a Jarry-Levi combo, and then they go get Freddie Anderson, which I guess, okay, you assume Freddie's going to be hurt half the season. You're going to need a third goalie. But you can't send Devin Levi through waivers. Someone is going to claim him.
Yeah.
So you're not going to rock 3 goalies on your roster either. So I don't know what they're going to do. That one's a weird one for me.
We'll let them. We'll let the
We'll let 'em
Oilers
figure it out.
Oilers divisions.
Florida. The rich get richer, man.
We don't need to talk about them. We already
talked about them. But they did sign Tobias Bjornfoot. That's a depth defenseman. He'll probably be in the AHL. Lars Eller. You've got a fourth line, good defensive two-way center that can win faceoffs and penalty kill. You brought back Petrovic. You brought in Radko Gudas. We already talked about them bringing in like the Bash brothers, and then they add Radko Gudas as well. And I'm like, bro, like they're just starting a street gang at this point to beat up everyone.
And they got a goalie too.
Yes, they brought in a goalie that I think will be terrible for them.
Don't really
traded.
Matter.
You traded for. Well, I would say it doesn't really matter because that offense.
Oh, the whole team, the goal. You could put nobody in that; they'd be fine.
They bring in Jacob Markstrom. I thought Binnington was a much better fit for them, especially on an expiring deal.
Yeah.
That he'd be playing for another contract, so we know he's going to be good this year. Bob wanted too much, so he left. I don't like it. I think that could be what keeps them from winning, honestly. Like, their team is very good, but I think Markstrom is not great. Who else? And then they brought in Akira Schmid to back him up.
Yeah.
Because they lost Tarasov as well, so... It's a very good team. It's going to be a dogfight out there in that division, so that's going to be fun to watch. LA brought in Matt Zuccarello on a $1 million bonus-laden contract. I love that.
That's a great contract.
Scott Lawton signed for 3 years. I like that. Oh, gosh. Yeah. I think they still need offense because they lost Anze Kopitar retired. Andrei Kuzmenko left.
Yep.
I think they need more firepower up front. It's just a mediocre team.
Yeah.
I don't think their goaltending's good. Their defense is young, has potential, but is not proven or good yet. And they've got a lot of vets that are just average on offense. I like the Zuccarello deal. I like the Lawton deal. But, man, they need to go out and get some offense. And this is not a playoff team.
No. Even if they do make it in that tragic division, they'll get first round.
It is tragic. Minnesota. Lots of rumors, lots of speculation. They bring back Nick Foligno on a cheap bet deal. They bring back Bobby Brink on a 1-year, $2 million contract.
Yep.
They signed Calvin Pickard to be a third goalie.
And then just a bunch of rumors.
They brought in Maxim Shabanov, which he's got potential, and on a 1-year, $1.6 million deal, I think he could be a good third pairing complementary piece. So that one was interesting to me. I thought he was going to get a little more than that, so I like that flyer.
Yeah.
And then they re-signed a lot of random players as well. So, nothing spectacular for them, but again, they're already loaded.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
It's just, are you going to get Larkin? Are you going to re-sign Quinn Hughes? Those are the two things we got to look for with Minnesota, but that is a very good team for a long time. A team I expected to be a little more active than they were was Montreal. They didn't do hardly anything except depth. Zach Bolduc is still an RFA.
Yeah.
Who he didn't really work out with them.
No.
Gosh, would I love to have him back in St. Louis.
I agree. He was.
There's your third line right wing scorer that we need.
Yeah, he was.
If there was a way we could bring him back and run a third line of Dvorsky, him, and Neighbors. Gosh,
Yeah.
it'd be electric. I would love it. Yeah, not going to happen, unfortunately. Probably. But he still needs a contract. They re signed Kirby Doc. That's about it. I thought this was a team that was going to go get someone.
Yeah.
Vinny Trocheck, like one of those type, like a second line center is what they need. And they didn't do it. It's a
And
little disappointing. I mean, not for me because I hope all of Canada loses, but I mean, your second line center is Philip Deneau, who's 33 on an expiring contract. Your third line center then is Kirby Doc, who's 25 and hasn't proven that he panned out on an expiring contract that you just gave him.
yeah.
And then it's not Alex Newhook and Jake Evans, who also play the wing, or Oliver Kapanen, who can also play the wing. I just wish they would have gone out and got a legit veteran second line center. Like I thought
Yeah.
Vinny Trocheck was the perfect player for them.
I agree.
But
I thought the Wild were going to be in on him as well, but I guess not.
yeah. So a little disappointing if I'm a Montreal fan. Nashville, they re-signed Justin Barron. They traded for Maverick Bork and then gave him a 6-year, $5.5 million contract. I love that.
Yeah.
They brought in. Did they bring him in or they re-signed Kerfoot?
They brought him in. He was on the Mammoth.
Okay, that's right. I like that because you got a $3.5 million player for 2 years. He's a veteran. He can play wing. He can provide some center depth.
Yep.
In case you don't want Adam Enstrom or Brady Martin coming up and playing. This is a team that I would love to see rebuild, but they won't do it. Like half of your roster is 32 and over, and the other half is like 24 and under.
I think while Yossi's still playing, they're not going to do it.
And Yossi's got one more year after this year, so he's got 2 years left. He's 36. He should probably retire after that.
Keep the legacy.
Yeah. UC Saros is signed long term for 5 more years, which will take him to 36. You've got Ivan Kovic coming up at some point, so I like that. Defensively, you've got Tanner Molendyke that will be coming up. Ryan Ufko, maybe. Vigo Gustafsson was a late pick, and I liked him. Offensively, like you've got a few young guys, but you're just so offensively old with Forsberg and Stamkos and Marchessault and O'Reilly. You bring it. Was Ross Colton this offseason? They traded. They brought him in.
Yeah.
I liked that. Gives you some depth. He's only got 1 year left. You got Alex Kerfoot. Like, you've got a lot of old vets, but you're not that good. Like, you made a run at the end of last year, so you hope that kind of just continues. But I think that's what they're doing is they're praying and hoping.
Yeah. I agree.
New Jersey.
Did they even do anything?
They just made a signing finally yesterday, I believe. They signed Anthony Mantha to a 2-year deal.
That's actually how much?
I liked it. It was, let me double check, but it was like 4.5 or something. It was way better than I expected. He had a great year. 33 goals, 31 assists, I think. I was expecting him to get a $6+ million long-term deal that someone would overpay. They gave him 2 years, 4.75. Love that.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
So you've got Hughes, you got Heischer, and then on the wing you compare that with Timo Meier, Jesper Bratt, Anthony Mantha, Dawson Mercer. They re-signed Arseny Gritschik because they were worried he was going to get offer sheeted. I don't like the bottom 6 all that much. I like the top 2 lines. The bottom, outside of Gritschik, Evan Rodriguez was part of that deal for Markstrom.
That's
So you've got those 2 on the third pair, but then you've got like Connor Brown, Stefan Nosen, Cody Glass, Nick Bukestad, Jesper Boquist, like a lot of nothing on that bottom. So I would like at least one more winger, and then you can figure out that fourth line and just do whatever with it for 1 year, because most of those guys are UFAs after this year. Dougie Hamilton's still there. We haven't heard any rumors since the deadline, really.
He's probably going to
Hamilton, Hughes, Pesci, Dillon, Siegenthaler. I would like them to go get one. I mean, they gave Kovacevic 4 years, $4 million. So there's your top six, and then Declan Chisholm. They gave a 1 year deal to be their seventh defenseman. The interesting one is their goaltending for me. You trade Markstrom, and you're running with 35-year-old Jake Allen,
Jake the Snake,
who was really good last year, outplayed Markstrom.
He's been pretty good for the Ducks.
But again, he's 35, and he's got 4 more years on that deal.
Trust.
Albeit 1.8.
Yeah,
like
it's not a big deal.
It's whatever.
Jake
they bring in David Riddick for a 1 year deal. And I think they're going to run with Jake and Nico Dawes and give Nico Dawes a little bit of run. He's only 25. He's got 2 years at 1.1 on his contract. I mean, they also they traded with Detroit. I forgot what they traded to Detroit, but they brought in Amadeus Lombardi, who might get some play. Their forward prospects are garbage. They have like no one. And then their defense, though, they've got Salayev, they've got Seamus Casey, they got Etienne Morin, Topias Villanen. He should have been better, but he hasn't been. Goaltending, like there's not a lot of prospects there on the offensive side, and that's what I worry about. And they drafted, which we haven't talked about the draft at all, but Nikita Sherbakov, I liked that pick a lot because I believe they got him in the second round, and I had him in the 20s for me personally. But he's Russian, and not a lot of people saw him, but I really like that. So I think there's some defense in the pipeline. I don't see any offense, and that concerns me. And we also didn't talk about, they gave Nico Hischier his extension this year, and it looks fantastic after what we saw Leo Carlsson get, because he signed a 4 or 5 years at 11.7. So you get your captain back at under $12 million.
Is making me really excited to see Celebrini and Bedard's contract.
Dude, Celebrini's going to get like $20 million.
Me better.
It's going to be insane.
God.
So that was the big move for New Jersey, was trade Markstrom, re-sign Hischier.
Yeah.
The New York Islanders brought in Matthias Michelli. I don't mind that.
That's a pretty good pickup.
And then Vitek Vanacek to be a backup.
Yeah, I guess.
And then some depth players. Old friend Matthew Kessel signed there. But this is a team that every year we talk about the same thing. They need scoring.
Yep, and they refuse to do it.
And they only signed Matthias Michelli to a 1 year, $2.25 million contract. Love that. He's still got an RFA year after, so they've got control of him. But your defensive core is old.
Yeah, very
Polak, old. Pellick, they're only 31, but they feel old. They feel like they're slowing down. Tony DeAngelo, Scott Mayfield's been a bad contract. You've given money to Alexander Romanov, so you hope that steps up and becomes something. And then, I mean, you've got Matthew Schaefer, who's going to get a stupid contract as well.
Yeah.
And you've got Sorokin for long term. I don't know. You can see where they're coming in the future. And so maybe that's what they're going with this offense, because you're talking Callum Ritchie's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe they're this year. Emil Heineman might be something still. I mean, you still have Simone Simon or Simone Holmstrom, who's okay. But you've got Cole Iserman coming. You've got Victor Eklund coming. Daniil Prokhorov, I think, is going to be decent. So you've got a few offensive guys coming, and don't get me started on their defense because Keishon Aitchison was one of my favorite players in last year's draft, and then Malte Gustafsson was my favorite defenseman in this class, and I was praying somehow St. Louis would get him with their 15th pick, and they did not. Almost made it there. You got Danny Nelson still coming on forward. Luca Romano might be decent as a forward. So you can see where it's coming. You've got those two defensemen who I both will think are going to be top 4 defensemen on the left side. So maybe you need some right-handed defensemen in the future. Because, again, Matthew Schaefer's also a left-handed defenseman, which is why I thought maybe they don't take Malte Gustafsson in this draft. But they did, and I think it was a smart pick because I think he's a stud. The other team that I think is one of the most poorly run clubs, the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Gosh. Now, I love that they drafted Albert Smeets. I think he could play this year potentially for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play him this year, but I think he could. They re-signed Braden Schneider 2 days ago to a 1-year, $5.5 million contract. I think he's ready to get out of there. I think he could be a trade piece at the deadline because I think they're going to suck. They signed Oliver Bjorkstrand to a 1-year deal. They made the big move. They got Pavel Dorofeyev, and they signed him to a 5-year, $11 million contract. They traded away Vinny Trocheck finally. They bring in Joe Veleno. Can we talk about? We got to talk about this trade, the Marcus Pettersson trade. They gave up a first-round pick to get Marcus Pettersson.
First-round pick. That's not good.
They're not good.
No.
Like, why are you giving up a first-round pick?
It is.
That was an awful, awful trade, in my opinion.
I agree. That could be is it protected?
I need to see what it's protected.
Yeah.
It is conditional. Let's see this details. So the trade was the Rangers acquired Pavel Dorofeyev from Golden Knights for a 2026 first, which is the 26th pick overall.
Yeah.
A third and a conditional 2028 first. That's not the trade I want. I want... Because I liked that deal. That one was fine with me.
Yeah.
Where is it? Good. Oh, it's for the 2030 first round pick. And it's top 10 protected.
Okay. That's not as bad.
It's not bad if it's in the top 10 or if they're really good by then.
Yeah.
I don't see the second one happening.
No.
But this looks real bad if it's the 11th or 12th pick. Or they don't make the playoffs and it's 11 through 16. Like, if it's anywhere there, this looks really bad. Because you just gave up a top 16 pick for Marcus Pettersson, who I don't think helps them. Like they feel like they're trying to compete. And this isn't a team that I look at that's ready to compete. Like
no. God no. They don't have they have no squad.
Like, you need to trade Zibanejad. You need to trade JT Miller. Bukestad, whatever. But outside of Dorofeyev, Zibanejad, Miller, and Lafreniere, who I also think could use a change of scenery.
Yep.
You don't have anyone signed past this year. You have RFAs.
Yeah.
But that's it.
And they have Shesterkin on a nuts contract. And after the year he had, it's
$11.5 million until 2033.
Yeah, that's just not good.
You brought in Korpisalo to be the backup. Your defense, Fox, Gavrikov, Dursey, Pedersen,
Yeah.
Schneider, Beckanainen, Matthew Roberts, like Vincent or Iorio, they need to re-sign. But like the defense is fine.
Yeah.
That offense, man. Like you're gonna assume that one line is gonna have Dorofeyev and then one of Miller Zibanejad centering him. And then I would assume you wouldn't put Lafreniere or Miller on the other wing, and you would let Miller and Lafreniere be together on the second line
Yeah.
to kind of split that scoring. But then after that, you've got who's playing top line? You've got Bjorkstrand, you've got Will Coley, you've got Taylor Radish, you got maybe Gabe Perreault if he can make the jump. Like
I
that's
feel
not good.
I feel like you play him.
I would because there's no better options. Like let him be the playmaker because he's a pass first guy. Like put him with Zibanejad and Dorofeyev on the top line, and he can just feed them because they both like to shoot. Who's playing with Miller and Lafreniere? Like, are you putting Bjorkstrand there to be your second liner? Or are you going to put Will Cooley there to be a power forward with him? Maybe, but like,
they're in a bad spot.
They need to get rid of the old guys and just rebuild this thing.
Yeah, I agree. And they have some pieces there. It's just it's not great right now.
No. And Adam Fox is a free agent in 3 years.
He's not coming back.
I think they're gonna end up. He's gonna end up saying, "I want out" if this year goes like it did again.
I agree.
Oh, the Rangers are in shambles. Those might be my three: Detroit, New York, Rangers, and Chicago as my like biggest in shambles teams.
Yeah.
Ottawa, they did the best they could with a bad situation. Brady won it out. They traded him. They re-signed Tyler Boucher. They brought in re-signed Xavier Bourgault. Maybe he does something. They brought back Claude Giroux, which I think was a very important move for them. They re-signed Levo Marilainen, which I think is their goalie of the future. I don't know why they gave Samuel Ersson a 2-year, $2.2 million contract. He is terrible. Why is anyone still signing him?
He's so bad.
It's so dumb. In the trade for Tkachuk, they brought back. Did they bring back anyone in that contract? Who'd they get? I know they got 9 overall, and then they used that and flipped it to go get William Eklund.
Yep.
How do you feel about William Eklund as a replacement for Tkachuk on this team?
Doesn't play the same game, but it'll be cool with him and Stützle. Very different players. Eklund's nobody really plays like the Tkachuks, but
no,
that's a hard spot to replace. I think it'll be cool. I just don't know if he's not that big. When I think of him, I think he's small. Is he not? Is he not a smaller winger?
He's not the biggest player. Let's see what elite prospects have him at. 5'10", 185. Yeah. So he's not a big guy.
They lost a lot of size. And
they did, but if you look at their lineup, they've still got Shane Pinto.
Yeah.
They still have Dylan Cousins. They still have Drake Batherson. They've got, Nick Cousins. Like, they've got some size. But you're right. They're looking at your top line's going to be Stützle and Eklund. Maybe Batherson.
Yeah. Did he get a contract?
No, he's got one more year on his
deal.
Okay,
one more year.
And then after that, you're running like Pinto or Cousins with Burakovsky, Fabian Zetterlund, or Claude Giroux. So you've got a few pieces there. Like, I think you have 3 solid lines, but you're right. You don't have a Tkachuk, which might be good for him.
It might be, but
I think they can play a faster north-south game.
Yeah.
Other guys are going to have to be the big body to step up. I don't know necessarily if they have that. Defense with Sanderson, Chabot, Spence, Artem Zub, Tyler Clevin, Carter Yakimchuk. I like that. I like those 6. I think there's some proven, and I think there's some potential there.
Yeah, there's solid D with good potential right there.
I don't like that Olmark is getting 8.25. I don't like that I don't like that you signed Erison to 2.2. But like I said, I like Levi Merlinen. I think he's their goalie of the future, and he's 23, so he's about ready. So when Erison sucks, he'll be up.
When?
Yeah. Yeah. This team's going to be interesting. Trying to look at their prospects real quick. They signed Adam Nemec. It's a good late pick. I liked him. I'm not seeing prospects that I like that much. That's concerning. Because Yakimchuk is the best one, and he'll be up this year.
Yeah.
What did they draft this year?
They didn't have. Oh, they had the last pick in the first round.
Yeah. No, they had 2.
Did they?
Yeah, because they traded and got 25, which was stupid. Okay. The biggest reach of the entire draft, we'll talk about this quickly. Jonas Lagerberg Hohen, right winger out of Sweden. I don't think I saw him in the top 2 rounds anywhere. Maybe some late second, and they took him at 25. Now, they did take Jackson Cover at 32, and he's only been playing hockey for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And his background is roller hockey, and he's big and he's physical, and he likes to learn. I really like this pick for a few years down the road. And then Adam Nemec in the 3rd round, I thought that was a solid pick. Yes, He is related to Simone Nemec, but he is a forward, and he plays a different style of game, so that's fine. Like, man, they reach so hard for that first pick.
Yeah.
So I did not like that. After Ottawa, we got Philly. Philly tried to make fireworks happen.
I
thought there was a chance. Their biggest signing was that they re-signed Trevor Zegras last night. One of the 2. 4 years, $9.125 million. And again, after what we just saw Carlson go for, that doesn't look too bad.
No. I still think it's a little too much, though.
I do, too. I'm not a Trevor Zegras believer. But this is a team that still has $20 million in cap space after that. So, like, okay. Re-sign.
Philly's in a weird spot. They made the playoffs, but
they re-signed Tyson Forrester. They gave him the 8-year, $7.1 million contract. We'll see. I'm not sold on him yet. They brought in Nola Chari for 2 years to be a 4th-line player. They re-signed Dan Vladar, who had a great season, but it's his first great season that he's had in the NHL for 5 years, 5.5. I didn't necessarily like that.
We just have to get used to the new cap system.
I know, but it was just too many years.
Yeah.
If it would have been like a 3-year, 5.5, if it doesn't work out, fine.
Yeah.
But 5 years I did not like.
2030 or 2032. 31.
32 is his UFA year. But you also brought in Joseph Wall, which I liked.
Yeah.
So you got Wall and Vladar as your tandem, and that is absolutely fine with me.
Yeah.
You still need to sign Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah.
But they don't have a defenseman over $6.25 million.
Yep.
That's what Sanheim's at. They got Cam York last year at just over 5. They've got 1 more year of Ristolainen. Nick Seeler, meh. David Juracek, they just re-signed for 2 years. You hope he figures it out. So much upside. You brought in Simone Benoit. Meh. Your offense, you can see the identity here. You've got Zegras, you've got Konechny, you've got Couturier, you've got Tippett, Christian Dvorak, Noah Cates, Tyson Forrester. Like, you've got some depth there.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include, Porter Martone, Matt Vichkov. They've got Jet Luchenko coming. They've got Denver Barkey coming. The offense, I think, is fine. They also drafted Jack Berglund, who I thought was a very, not this year. They've in the past. He's a very Philly player. They like the two-way responsible centers, and they seem to draft those a lot. Who did they draft this year? They still have Carson Yarnison, goalie prospect that's young that I like. Carter Amico on the defense is still coming. They drafted Maxim Sokolovsky, again, 6'7", big, physical, defensive defenseman. Like, every mock draft that I did, he was my pick for them because that just felt like an ultimate Philly move.
Yeah.
Jack Nesbitt, same type of center. They got Jack Murtagh and Shane Van Saggy last year, which big, physical, power forward wingers. Like, they know what they like and they stick to their identity, and I think this team has that. I think it's coming, and they have a lot of cap space, so they're an interesting one. Like, if Cutter Gauthier would sign an offer sheet to go there, it would be amazing. I just don't think it'll happen.
That would be just the funniest,
the most insane thing ever. But they've got money, so it's interesting. They're a team that would Nikishin fit here because they got the money to sign him. They've got some prospects. They could make it happen, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but it's a team that I think could. Pittsburgh's been a very interesting offseason team for me. We know this team likes to go for it. They signed Nick Robertson. They signed Igor Chinikov. They re-signed one-year deal for Arturs Shilovs. They re-signed Joel Blomqvist. They brought in Caden Korchak on defense. Who else did they bring in? Oh, they brought in Andrei Kuzmenko. That was their offseason signing. So they brought in some wings. We know what they're doing. They're still making one last run. Evgeny Malkin signed a 1-year extension. I thought he was retiring. So this is it. This is their last run.
Yep.
Rust is old. Raquel is old.
Our whole team's old. Besides,
Kuzmenko's 30 and on a 1-year deal. Malkin's 39. Crosby's 38. Like, Ben Kindle is your young gun. They brought in... Okay, they did bring in Hendrix Lapierre, and I think he was a change of scenery guy that will get a shot here. So that one was semi-interesting for me. But then your defense is Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang at 36 and 39. Ryan Graves, who's been awful, they still have for 3 years, is 31.
He went like 51 games without a point last season.
Yeah. Trevor Van Riemsdyk got brought in on a 2-year, $4 million contract. He's 34. Yeah. And then your goalie tandem right now is Arturs Shilovs and Sergei Murashov. I've never heard of him.
No, I don't think I've ever heard
You of him. Need to go sign a goalie.
Yeah.
Desperately. Now, I can see some stuff in the future. Bill Zonin, love him. He signed in the AHL postseason and came in and immediately tore apart Springfield. He was a stud. He's a big physical power winger that can score. Love it. Rucker McGroarty, you hope he stops being a diva and does something.
Yeah.
Tanner Howe has potential. Philip Hollander, we've been saying for years we thought something was going to happen. It never did. One of the things that they did that I'm so mad, I've been clamoring for 2 drafts now to take the flyer on this guy late, and he went overseas and tore it up and came back and finally got drafted by Pittsburgh, and that's Tomas Galvis. I love what he brings on the back end. He's small, but he is an elite playmaker on the defensive side. So I am upset that the Blues, we did not draft him the last 2 years. They've got a lot of size and physicality upcoming on the defense. Peyton Kettles, big dude. Harrison Brunicky should be coming soon.
Yeah.
Alexander Alexiev, man, that dude fell off. Gabriel Daggle, Joel Bloomquist, like they've got some defense coming. William Horkoff is coming in a few years. They drafted the Ruck twins. I think if you took one, you had to take them both. They got it. There's your future second or third line pair. I'm not super high on them, but they do for sure play well together. Charlie Trethway, I also like on defense that they've got coming. So they've got some things, but man, they should have 3 years ago stopped trying to run it back.
Yeah,
because
they should have gave Crosby a last hurrah somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I say that I like players that stick with their team forever. So
if you're looking at it this way, they should have done it all.
All right, let's talk about your favorite GM and team.
Mike Greer.
The San Jose Sharks. They signed Jacob Trouba. They signed Mason Marchment. They traded Shakir Mukhamadullin for Darnell Nurse.
That's
they signed Eric Comrie, and he'll be their backup instead of Laurent Brisebois, who left.
Oh my God, the Marchment.
They lost Vinny Desharnais. They lost Mario Ferraro. They lost Nick Leddy, and they're not upset about. Gosh, what to say? This team was going in such a good direction. Their draft couldn't have gone better. They had 3 picks in the first round, and they took Ivar Stenberg, which was the correct pick.
Yeah, correct.
Keaton Verhoff fell to 9 to them, who was my number 1 defenseman.
Ridiculous.
And then at 21, Ryan Lynn fell, who I think has upside if he can do a few more things. I don't dislike his defensive side. I think his skating needs to get better. He's going to Denver. He'll get better. And then they also, in the 7th round, took a 7'1" defense. So there's that. But their draft could not have gone better. And then they go out and do some dumb stuff.
They made themselves infinite.
Listen, Mason Marchment, they needed some physicality with this young team. They gave him under $7 million, so I guess that's a positive.
I thought it was 7.5.
No, 6.75. Originally, it came out that it was 7.5.
Okay,
but
that's why I laughed so hard. That contract was terrible.
Yeah. Toffoli's 34 and got 2 more years at 6. Wenberg's at 31, 3 more years at 6. Kiefer Sherwood has 5 years left at 5.75 at 31.
I don't believe in him.
Gaudreau's 33 with 1 more year. But then you've got Stenberg. You've got Michael Misa. You've got Macklin Celebrini. You have Will Smith. You have Igor Chernyshov. You've got some young talent, man. Yeah. So I don't mind some of those contracts right now. You're probably going to have to move on from them. But defensively is where you got me here. Darnell Nurse, you took the whole contract at $9.25 for 4 more years. You say if Darnell Nurse is not a number 1 defenseman and is a second pair guy, that's fine. Still too much, but probably where he should be. But he's not here. Because then you brought in Jacob Trouba at 4 years, 8.25, which was way too much for Jacob Trouba. You've got 1 year left of 34-year-old Dmitry Orlov, who didn't have a good year last year. The one thing you did was you brought in Michael Kesselring, which I did like, and you gave him 3 years at 4.5. So I'm good with that one. I liked that move. Sam Dickinson has to be ready this year. Like, he's got to be on this roster. But then after that, you've got two more young guys listed on their roster with Matthias Havlet and Luka Cagnani right now. And then your goaltending is a combination of Nedeljkovic, Askarov, and Comrie, which two backups and who you expect to be your starter, but wasn't amazing last year when he got his first shot in Askarov. I'm worried about that one.
Yeah.
The goaltending scares me. Offensively, you still have a few more things coming. With Quentin Musty, Philip Eisted, I think are going to be coming still. Nolan Allen, you hope is coming. Leos Soliamolinas, you hope is still coming. I believe in the Swedes defensemen. I think they're all pretty solid. But again, you lucked into Ryan Lynn and Keaton Verhoff, so you gotta love that. And then goaltending wise, you still have Joshua Ravensbergen, who everyone loved a couple of years ago, so he's still coming. And then you drafted Brady Nolan, who is the top American goalie this year, and he went later than I expected, so I liked that pick. So you can see where it's going, but man, did the decisions for this felt like we've got a good young team. Let's go for it right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should have.
No.
I think they should have built in that age range with the core all going together, kind of like you're seeing St. Louis do, but they went, we're going to sign all these old veteran defensemen, and hopefully that fixes our D. And it seems like they've been trying to put a Band-Aid on a problem for too long.
I think Greer, my opinion is he has lucked into picks and cannot transition a team from rebuilding and having a good year into a contender. I don't think he can do it.
I'm not sure either, but man, people love him and think he's a genius because of his draft, and then the next day they thought he was a moron for his free agency.
He is a moron. I mean, if Keaton Verhoff's at 9, you're taking Keaton Verhoff at 9. If Ryan
1,000%. I thought he might make it to 11, and St. Louis was going to take him instead of a forward. I was like, well, maybe you get your right-handed defenseman.
No pick that he's made in a first-round pick has ever been a guess or like, oh, who are they going to take?
No, it was – the guess was, do they take Chase Reed at 2? But then when they traded for 9, you just take whatever defenseman's left, and you take your boy. That should go at 2.
Anybody could have made those picks, and then we're starting to see the real GM.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to make a contender, you see the real GM.
Seattle, man, they just need offense. They need offense.
Their team and do another draft.
Gosh, yeah.
Repick in the expansion draft. Redo it.
What did they do? They got Mackie Samoskevich, which I didn't like the move.
No.
You gave up. Who did they give up for him?
They gave up a first-round pick.
First-round pick, that's right. Too much. I like the upside of Samoskevich, not for a first-round pick, I don't. So I didn't like that. You've got Berkeley Catton coming. Shane Wright still hasn't been moved. Your defense is old, but for the most part, but it's not bad. Vince Dunn's got one more year. You've got Brandon Montour for 5 more years at 32. Like, that's not going to age well. Adam Larson at 33 has 3 more years. Ryan Lindgren, I don't mind that one, 4.5 for 3 more years. Riker Evans is still young. I think you need some defense. And then you're rocking Grubby and DeCord in goal, both making $5 and $6 million. Like, you've got $10.9 million in those two goalies.
I believe Grubauer is still in this league. He's
got 1 more year left. So, you got Jake O'Brien coming. Carson Reckoff, I think is decent. Oscar Fitzger Molgard, Edward Shala, Jaeger Furkis, David Goyette. Like, you've got some forwards coming.
Berkeley Catton, right?
Yeah, he's on their NHL roster right now.
He's made the team.
Yeah. Defensively, Lucas Dravisevich, Ty Nelson. Goaltending, Nicholas Kakko has some upside. Let's see who else. If there's any guys I missed. Casey Mutrin I like this year. He's going to be your big physical third-line winger. Oh, yeah, let's talk. Freaking Chase Reed dropped all the way to Seattle.
Yeah.
Potentially a number 2 overall pick, dropped all the way down. Like, you couldn't have had an easier pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, do you want him or Verhoff?
Yeah.
Like, they still have Blake Fiddler, who I think is going to be a good third-pairing defenseman.
Yep.
But yeah, it's that high upside offensive player that they are still missing. They were one of the teams that was in on Jason Robertson that he said no to. But yeah, like, you've got $18.5 million in cap space. Like, can you go get someone, please?
One could hope. One could hope. I don't think that anybody really wants to play there.
I'm just looking at who's left. Like, Laine.
They don't need another middle.
Evander Kane, Tarasenko, Bunting, Perron. Like, it's all old veterans. Like, that's all that's left. And I say old veterans. Laine's only 28, but
he plays like a veteran.
Non-existent. St. Louis, let's talk about our team real quick. Interesting offseason. I want to know how you feel about it because the Blues had 4 first-round picks. They traded Jordan Kyrou to Washington. We'd already talked how we very much enjoyed this trade. It gave us a first. It gave us Connor McMichael, who, right as we were getting ready to go on, signed a 6-year, $6.75 million extension. They brought back Sonny. They brought back Dylan Dubé. Jonathan Berggren got a 1-year deal. They brought in Johnston on a 3-year, $2 million contract. I personally was not a fan of this.
It's just that I'd rather have a younger guy getting some minutes than Ross Johnson doing whatever he's going to do.
I'm like, you brought in a fighter. Like, that's what you brought in.
Our fourth line is huge now. If it's going to be Finley, Torpachenko, Johnson, I think they average out about like 6'6", I think.
6'6", yeah.
That's a big fourth line. So, but the McMichael or the Kyrie trade that gave us McMichael was also a key piece in getting McTavish. So
that's what I wanted to ask you about. So the Blues, on top of those, they traded 2 of those picks, 15 and 29, sent them to Anaheim, got Mason McTavish. Along with in the McMichael trade, we also got Milton Gastreen and that first. Steen loves his Swedes. Milton Gastreen was the captain for the junior Swede team. So now your forward group consists of Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, Dylan Holloway, Mason McTavish, Connor McMichael, Pius Suter, Jake Neighbors, Jimmy Snuggerud, Dalibor Dvorsky, Jonathan Berggren, and then a bunch of fourth liners.
We have a lot.
That was 10 guys.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would like to move somebody to get a third line winger.
Pius Suter could go.
Pius Suter's the one. He's a UFA after next year. He's probably the odd man out unless he's playing on the wing.
Yeah.
On that third line, because the top 2 lines are going to be Thomas, Holloway, Snuggerud will be your top line.
Yep.
Your second line is probably going to be Booch, McTavish, and McMichael.
Yep.
And then your third line is going to be Neighbors, centered by Dvorsky.
Yep. And then whoever mixed in there. I mean, I like
Berggren.
I like Sonny. I don't know why we brought him back.
He's on a 2-way deal. He'll get sent down to the minors. Defense, Broberg, Parayko, Fowler. They brought in Brandon Carlo for 2/3. I loved that.
I do like that deal. He doesn't do, like, he's not flashy. He just plays defense.
No, he's going to be a defensive defenseman, and I think this
we need on a crappy.
Broberg can play defense. He plays defense well, but he also likes to roam.
Yeah,
Parayko can be a shutdown guy if you want him to be. Fowler, like, meh at this point. But Carlo's going to be a shutdown D. You can put him with a Theo Lindstein.
Yeah.
You can put Logan Mayu with Cam Fowler and just tell Cam Fowler to be your shutdown guy. Like, there's lots of combos here, and I don't mind it. And then you still have Tyler Tucker as your 7th at the moment. You have Adam Juracek almost ready, maybe ready. And you have one of the best tandems in Joel Hofer and Jordan Binnington in goaltending. What do you think about this roster? Is it better than last year?
I think it's way better than last year. When I think getting rid of some of those older guys and moving towards the young guys was the right move for sure, and then adding on some pretty skilled young players as well that fit our timeline really well. McTavish, I think he gets a lot of hate. I think he has really good potential there. Even if it's a 60-point player, that on your second line, that's perfect. If he can play center, even if he's playing wing, if we need someone else in the center, but if he can play center and put up 60 points and be that solid 2C that every team wants, that's perfect for us. And he's locked up for a few, I think it's 5 more years.
Yeah. You've got 7 forwards that are 26 and under.
Yeah, perfect. And
Holloway, McTavish, McMichael, all locked up.
Yeah, and they all showed great signs last year, at least the ones that were on the Blues. And McMichael had a really good year as well.
And he's better on the wing. He produces better on the wing, and Steen has already said McTavish is the second-line center.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Neighbors is an RFA and needs a contract. Berggren has 1 more year, but is still an RFA.
Yeah.
Jimmy Snuggerud is an RFA, and Dvorsky has 2 more years before he's an RFA. So you're talking a good young core ready to go. And then you've got Mayu at 23, you've got Lindstein at 21, you've got Broberg at 25, and you have Juracek coming, who's like 21 or 22. Oh, and your goalie is an RFA after this year, and Joel Hofer, who's only 25.
Yep.
So you're talking about a good core.
Yep.
And this is the kind of thing that I thought several teams should be trying to do. This is what San Jose should have been doing.
Yeah.
Is putting that young defense around it. And we're talking about that. They also have some good young players that are still coming. Forward-wise, Milton Gastreen was the captain of Sweden's World Junior team. Justin Carbonneau could potentially be that third-line right winger this year if he outcompetes some guys. Adam Yeko, a couple years ago, was a stud at World Juniors. Alexandre Kaskamaki, that's one most people don't know, is ready to play in the NHL as a two-way center right now. Otto Stenberg, didn't even talk about him, who played with the Blues last year, center or wing. Might not make this team, probably won't make this team now. Juraj Pekarczyk, Jakob Stanchel, both same thing as Adam Yeko. Those were 2 elite players at World Juniors 2 years ago. Jack Finley is only 23.
Yep.
Might not make this roster.
Yeah, we have so many forwards. We got the KHL guys too. Buchnelikov, Karodi.
Yeah, Buchnelikov and Karatki.
Yeah, we've got prospects at the
defensively. Colin Ralph will be a third line guy, but I like him. Arseny Kormalyevsov, I can't ever pronounce his name. Again, Russian. Haven't seen a lot of him, but a lot of good things. He just signed. Adam Juracek's 20 and could play in the NHL this year. A couple of other guys that have some upside. We'll see what they turn out to be. Like you said, Buchnelenko. Andre Koss was, again, one of those guys at the World Juniors a couple of years ago. Matvei Karaki put up a lot of good numbers in the KHL last year. They just drafted Maddox Dagenet, who everyone talks about as a center. I think he's going to be a scoring power forward winger. Tynan Lawrence is 17, and he's going to be your future 2C, probably, worst 3C. You drafted a couple of USA NDTP players on defense who I like. Lars Steiner, I think, was a steal in the 6th round.
Yep.
And then as part of your other trade with Shen, you still have Marcus Gidlov coming as a goalie prospect, and you have Luve Herenstam coming, and you just signed or drafted Vladimir Proskorin. So you've got some – I'm excited. I'm excited about this team. I think Doug Armstrong did some really good things, some really tough things on his way out to set Steen up for a big future.
Yep.
And you've got offense for the next 8 years of players that are either here now or going to be here in that time. And I think at some point you're going to see some of this offensive depth traded for some D help.
Yeah.
So don't get super attached to guys that aren't long-term or have no trade clauses, because I think there will be movement. I love the offseason. I think this is definitely a better team. I think there will be competition, and I think there is depth, which is something they did not have last year when everyone got hurt and traded. Definitely. Tampa Bay. Ilya Mikheyev. They signed on a short deal for not a lot of money. I really liked what they did for there, but I also think they had one of the worst off-season signings this year. What's his first name? Vale is his last name. Is it Tommy? That's not Tommy. What is it? Just click on him. Jeffrey Vale.
Oh,
They signed 5 years at $2.5 million.
that's the big contract.
But he's 29. He barely played in the NHL.
Yep. Good for him.
Good for him, but I didn't like the contract.
No.
I did love that Ilya Mikheyev got a 4-year, $3.85 million deal. That is a great complimentary piece on the wing.
100%.
You traded and got Dennis Hildeby, which I think still has potential. And that makes me think maybe Vasilevsky isn't super healthy.
Yeah.
That they're worried that they're going to need another goalie, because I wouldn't want to run Jonas Johansson out there to be my starter.
No.
I'd rather give Hildeby a chance.
100%.
Yeah, this just feels, again, this is an old team, but it is a very talented team.
100%.
That it's the same as last year. They're going to give people a run for their money. Oh, yeah, and they brought in John Carlson for 2 years at $8.5 million. So, speaking to the old, it does help their defensive core, because now you're running Carlson, Hedman, Moser, Chernak, McDonough as your top 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The problem is 3 of those guys are over 35 and could retire at any point. So that's my only concern with them, is their defense. We'll see.
We will find out.
Toronto, man, were they busy?
They were.
They wanted to rebuild their defense, and they did. I don't know that it's better.
No.
Their biggest move, though, was that they brought in Bob. Signed him to a 3 years. What was the deal? 7? Yeah, 3 by 7. So they're running Bob and Stolars, which I like. I think that's a good tandem. Their defense that they rebuilt, they traded for Darren Radish and gave him way too much money for way too long. 8.5, was it 7 years? 8 years that they gave him?
Yeah.
It was too much for one good season. You've still got Morgan Riley, whose name's still out there, so we'll see if anything happens with that.
Yeah.
Jake McCabe, Christopher Tanev, OEL, Emil Andre, and Troy Stetcher. Is it better? I don't know. Is it worse? I don't know.
Kind of the same.
It's different. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But again, Stetcher's 32 and is a 7th defenseman. OEL's 34. Tanev's 36. McCabe's 32. Morgan Riley's 32. And Darren Radish is 30. Not that that's old, but 32, you're starting to get to the end of it. You're going to start slowing down. Darren Radish, again, an 8-year deal. He's going to be 38, making 8.5 at the end of that. Meh. The offense is what worries me. You've got Matthews, you got Nylander, you got Nyes. Tavares is 35 and slowing down.
Very much so.
Colton Sissons, you gave 2 years at 4.25. What are you doing? Colton Sissons is not worth that. No. That is a 4th-line player. Jack Roslovic, fine, 2 years, $4 million. Yeah. Don't mind it. Max Domi, I don't know what his injury status is, but he hasn't played. Dakota Joshua, you bring in. That's fine as a 3rd, 4th-line energy physical guy. I do like that they got Nick Paul in this deal.
Yeah.
That 3 years, 3.15. I like what Nick Paul brings. I think it'll be good for them. Again, what was up with big grinder fighters getting
I don't know.
multiple years? Like Brandon Duhaime, why are you giving him 3 years, 2.6?
They saw the Florida Panthers doing it, so they said we have to do it too.
I know, it was stupid. Bluger and Lorenz or whatever to me. Gavin McKenna's gonna be on this roster. Easton Cowan may be on this roster. Zach McEwen, you've got on a short vet minimum, basically. So their secondary scoring worries me. If that top line can't produce, and by the way, they're 2.75 over the cap at the moment.
2.7?
So they got to do 2.75 over. So they've got to do something else. It feels like Morgan Riley is inevitable.
Yeah.
But they need to get defense coming back. That's young and controllable because the defense still isn't great. And if you lose him, it's even more questionable.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't think this team is worse. I don't necessarily think they're better.
They're exactly the same, in my opinion. And
they're not going to make the playoffs.
No, they added an overrated defense.
Unless Bob is just phenomenal. But I don't see that behind this defense. No. Utah Mammoth. One thing that they did, we already talked about, they signed the offer sheet for Barrett Hayton. So they got him for 1 more year. Huh?
They got Trocheck.
They traded for Vinny Trocheck. I liked it. And they signed Anders Lee to a 3-year deal. This is a team a lot like Seattle, where you felt like they needed some offensive punch. But I kind of like what they did here because you've got Logan Cooley, you've got Clayton Keller, you've got Dylan Gunther. You bring in some vets to play with him. Barrett Hayton's only 26, but you've still got Nick Schmaltz there for several years. And you bring in a vet like Vinny Trocheck, who's 33, but he's at 3 years, 5.6, so like not a bad contract at all.
Yeah.
You bring in Anders Lee he's 36, but again, 3 years, 5.4. You worry about how what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But he's a vet who's been a captain. He brings some leadership there. I like that move still. Jack McBain's still on a good deal. You still got Tanev to play 4th line. You've got, Stenlin, who's good on the dot, penalty kill. Liam O'Brien will be a 4th line grinder. Sergachev, Uyghur, Marino, Schmidt. They bring in Andrew Peak. Dmitry Shimashev may be ready this year. Defense leaves me wanting a little. But then they make a trade and get Sebastian Kosa to come be the backup split time with Karl Vichmelka. So I think that will be interesting.
100.
I was kind of shocked that they gave him $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't played in the NHL yet. So, and this is a team, like we said, man, they've got prospects out the wazoo. Caleb Desnoyers, Vadim Morozov, Daniil Boot, TJ Ginla, like it's all there.
If they have a gap, they can make a trade.
Yeah. Maverick Lamoureux. So you've got some guys that are good. Defense is my concern. They drafted Ethan Belchetz and Adam Valentini.
Yeah.
I love that on offense. Belchetz, there's your big power forward. And Adam Valentini, little guy, but man, he's got a motor and doesn't play like a little guy. Yeah. So, I love them. And then Max Senica is a big physical third pair stay-at-home defenseman. And you've got your goalie of the future. And you've got Michael Robel, who I think is an absolute stunning goal too. So between Kosa and Robel, I think they're set for the future. They need to trade, I think, some of this offense to get some defense. But Utah is going to be a scary team.
100%. They're a contender in maybe a year if they can find that D.
Yep. Vancouver is Vancouvering.
They suck.
I'm not going to talk about them a lot because they suck. They didn't make the trade we expected. They brought in, we know what they're going to be. They're going to be a physical team. They brought in Jamie Alexiak.
Yep.
They brought in Luke Shen. They brought in Paul Cotter. Maybe Akil Thomas gets some play in the NHL finally because he hasn't. But they kept Pedersen. They've still got Besser. They still got DeBrusque. They still got Rossi. They've got Hedel for one more year. They bring in Brandon Gallagher. And then they've got a lot of guys for 1 year. Braden Coots might be ready soon. Jonathan Lekaramaki, Liam Ogren, Aturatu. Like, they've got some young guys offensively that could come up. You've still got Philip Roenick for
I think we were talking about, before that just occurred, we were talking about Vancouver and their physicality, just who they bringing in. I kind of want to talk more about what they're gonna do. They've got a bunch of draft picks coming in soon. They got the Rangers pick. They actually have a bunch of 4th, 5th round picks next year. We'll see what they do with those. But the Canucks, just in general, no, there's nothing going there. They're going to have a terrible season. Pedersen hasn't been traded yet. We'll see what happens there. They brought in Connor Gallagher, which is whatever for them. We'll see what happens there. Braden Coots could be awesome. Liam Ogren's part of that Quinn Hughes trade. Same with Buum. I think they have a lot of potential there. I don't really know.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't like what they are right now, but I could see the future with this team and where it's going. Like, I'm still mad about it from 3 years ago. Minnesota trading up right in front of the Blues to get Zeev Buium, because that was like my favorite defenseman. But you've got Buium, you've got Villander, you've got Hronek for a long time. And then we talked about those young forwards. Like, there's some good stuff coming. And then Alexei Medvedev was a really high-ranked goalie a couple years ago that they've got coming. And they drafted Adam Novotny at like pick 24, and I thought that was an absolute steal. Like, I love Adam Novotny. He was one of my favorite wingers in this draft. They also got Nicholas Aram Olsen later, I think in the 2nd round, and that dude is also a stud. I think he's a shoot-first scoring player. So I really liked that. So I see the future. The right now, though, it's going to be rough for Vancouver for a little while.
Yep.
Then we got Vegas.
Then nothing.
Vegas didn't do a whole lot, but Vegas didn't need to do a whole lot. They're going to be good.
Yeah, they dropped Cole Smith, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, they traded Pavel Dorofeyev. That's going to be the big thing for them. Can their scoring not take a massive hit because of that? Because he did do some awesome things. Now, they do have a problem. And that problem is that they're $8.6 million over the cap. So they have to make some moves.
Mark Stone, ACL tear.
Yeah, but they got to be compliant before the season starts.
Oh, true.
So they can't put them on before. And I'm just looking at their team going, like, they've got Petro. I don't know how that affects them. Like, if they can put him on that, then they're fine because he's 8.8. So maybe they're okay with Petro basically being injury retired.
Yeah.
But you've got no draft picks. You trade every single one basically, except for this year because you traded Dorofeyev and got a first for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's not great. Hold on, someone's here. My dogs are barking. Next up is Washington. They did a lot of things, so
They
go ahead
did
and
a
talk
lot.
about that.
They did a lot. I think they have one of the best top nines in the entire league. It's impressive what they added Tuck, they added Kyrou, and Ovechkin came back, so that'll be interesting. But their top nine rounds out about Ovechkin, Strome, Tuck on that top line, Protas, Dubois, Wilson on that second line, which is a pretty heavy line. Very, I wouldn't say the most skilled players, but very power forward-y like. Then the third line, they brought in Boone Jenner from Columbus, Kyrou from the Blues, and then they also have Ryan Leonard there. And you could put Protas is here. Do they have two Protas's? They do. So they've got two guys there, and then their Chychrun, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the entire league. His offensive and defensive attributes are awesome, and I was wanting the Blues to go after him a couple years ago when he was still on the Coyotes when they were still in the league. And then their goaltending tandem's pretty solid too. Thompson's been pretty good over the last few years, and Lindgren's made a career for himself for the last few years as well. You're muted. You're muted.
My bad. I think they're going to give Cole Hudson some play this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think as good as his brother, but he's dang good.
He's good.
But I do think they gave out one of the worst contracts of free agency, and that was 4 years, $4.2 million to Vinny Desharnais. Like, that is a seventh defenseman. Like, what are we doing? I don't care that he's 6'7". Like, he is not good.
No.
And I don't like it. I love Jacob Chychrun. I love Martin Fierro. But the defense concerns me. But, man, that forward group might be able to outscore almost every team.
Group's really good.
And they've got the physicality to play with Florida. And I think, I mean, Tuck's a big boy. Dubois, big boy. Tom Wilson, put up with anyone. Boone Jenner, captain and physical guy. Ovi, even though he's 40 and he's slowing down, he still can be physical if he wants to be. You got the Protas brothers. Ryan Leonard, physical, plays a hard style. And then that doesn't include like an Ivan Miroshnichenko, who is a goal scorer.
Yep.
I really like their forward group for now and into the future, and they did draft and sign Oliver Suvanto, who's going to be a third line two-way center at some point. They have Lyndon Lakovic coming, who's again a big scoring winger, who had a late growth, so he plays like a smaller guy. Andrew Cristal was a steal because he was small, and they got him late. So like there's offense out the wazoo coming.
Yep.
And the only defense really that I see coming is Ryan Chesley. And so that's my big question mark with them is really the defensive side.
100%.
And then the last team is Winnipeg, and we talked about them a little. What's going to happen with Connor Hellebuck?
Yeah.
They did bring in Stuart Skinner, which only heightened the speculation that they were going to move him.
Imagine going from Hellebuck to Skinner.
It's not going to be great.
That's horrible.
They bring in Mario Ferraro, which I liked that contract. He got way less than I thought he was going to get.
Yeah.
His agent should be fired because if Vinny Desharnais got 4 years, 4.25, tell me how Mario Ferraro only got 3 years at 4.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Insane to me. But looking at this team, like their defense isn't bad. You got Pionk, you got Morrissey, you got Sandberg, DeMello, Ferraro, Hayden Fleury.
Yeah.
Elias Solomonson might be up. You got Jack St. Ivany, which I've never heard of him, but okay, he's 26 and he's on their NHL roster at the moment. Vigo Bjork could play this year.
Oh yeah,
I think he will play this year. Braden Yeager's coming. Kevin Yee's coming. Colby Barlow, I think he's going to be a big physical winger. I don't know what Danny Zilkin's doing lately, but he was projected to be better than he has been. On the defensive side, you signed Henry Thrun, who could come up and play right now. And you have Alphonse Frey coming, and that's about it. Tomas Milic, goalie, could be coming. Sasha Boumediene, defense coming, and that's about it. Yeah. Like, defensive side concerns me a little bit. It's just, Winnipeg is that team that, like, it seems like everyone wants out.
Yeah. They need
so if they signed Cole Perfetti, 5 years, $6 million, they locked him up yesterday. So that was good for them. But like, if Hellebuck leaves, does Scheifele ask out too?
I wouldn't be surprised. Kyle Connor.
Yeah. I mean, they just gave Kyle Connor $12 million for a lot of years. So I don't know what this team looks like. This one's hard because it seems like no one wants to go to Winnipeg.
No.
All right. We went long today, but this off season was insane, and the sad thing is we didn't really even talk about the draft at all. But that's okay, because this off season has been wild and insane, and we needed to get to all of it. So for you, ending note, biggest off season winners to head us out here. Give me one winner, one loser.
Ducks are the biggest loser.
I didn't immediately, that was not my first thought, but yes, I agree. They are
Ducks
a loser.
Are the biggest loser. Biggest winner of the whole offseason or just free agency?
Whole offseason.
Florida Panthers.
All right. For me, I'm going to go. Which team do I think got significantly better? I am going to go. Man, I almost want to go St. Louis, and not because I'm being a homer. I just think this team is so much better this year.
If I had a pick, second pick, it'd be the Capitals.
Washington was who I was going to go with. Yeah. I think Washington offensively is just outstanding and can play with anyone. So I think between Tuck and Kyrou and Boone Jenner, I think, and the Protas brother, like, they were already there, but the younger one should be up this year. Yeah. Ilya. I really like what Washington did to compete. And I think they have the physicality to compete with Florida, and I think that's going to be a fun battle in the playoffs this year. Definitely. So for me, the biggest winner is going to be Washington. St. Louis is going to be my second. Biggest loser, I do think Anaheim is a loser. I don't think they're the biggest loser, though. I think the biggest loser this offseason, we talked about two, and that's who it's going to come down to me. It's going to be Detroit or Chicago. Yeah. Detroit, just the whole situation is not good. Yeah. Chicago, I think I'm going to pick because they did not do anything to help them. Bedard gets hurt, is out for 4 months. Yeah. And I don't think that GM knows what he's doing. And I said that whenever they hired him. He went from one terrible GM to Kyle Davidson, who's not any better. So I think he'll get fired at some point. Yeah. Especially if Bedard gets an offer sheet from somebody and he signs it and they have to match, which they've got money to match. Like, they've got money out the wazoo. But you can't bungle this like Anaheim did or Detroit currently is with trading, because then you're going to have to start looking to move him. And you can't do that. No. Like, this team has been in a rebuild for almost a decade.
It's bad.
And if you can't keep Bedard, it's going to be another decade. Yeah. So Chicago is my biggest loser. All right, that's going to be it. Thank you for those who stayed with us. As always, we appreciate the likes, the follows, the views. Use code ATHLETES to get your 10% off at Dubby. I actually ran out and have 2 more tubs coming in, trying new flavors because it's fantastic. So until next time, we will see you.